Right, so I've got that bit stuck in the corner, that's gone down now. We've gone all the way along the sides and the back there, so that's all done. The only thing I've got to do now is this front edge, and this is where it's going to get seriously messy and ridiculous, and I'm probably going to be swearing and all sorts. I might end up turning the camera off to do this bit, because, like I say, it's going to be a nightmare. I've somehow got a resin up underneath and get this cloth up there to stick, and yeah, it's going to be really hard. So I've got to get in a mess. A serious mess. I think I might have to wet this cloth out first as well to stick that up, and then that's going to make it 10 times harder. But we'll see. Let's see how we get on. I've also got to try not to knock what I've already done. And I'm aware that I'm dropping resin into the bottom of my locker, so I'm going to have to clean that out or brush it out. Now it's all got to be cleaned up. It's going to be the same when I come to paint it, gel coat it, should I say, you know what I mean. Seal it in. That's going to make the right mess. Paint the top first, let it all run down, drip it out, spread it all about. So I get a coat on the top, don't matter if I go over too far. Yeah, it's going to be gel coated. Alright, let's see what this goes like. We'll get that roughly central, stick that in. Go for it. Hope it all sticks in place. If there's a couple of little voids and whatnots in it, it's going to be tough basically. Go to the right a wee bit. It's going to fit where it touches, and it touches where it fits. I'll do the best I can by it. You know what I mean? It's purely just to reinforce this lip on the inside, so hopefully it doesn't get pinged off. You know, after years of opening and shutting the hatches, that smacking on there could potentially ping it off, so I want to make sure that it is stuck in place. Just to pass the end of the work there. Pretty darn good actually, it feels. So I'll work the resin through with my finger to get this back radius into place. Not bad. See underneath, yeah, okay, so we've got a few little spots that ain't gone in under there yet, so I should be able to hopefully just brush that into place and then work out the here. Get some resin into it, make sure it's wet enough. Resin up there, and I'll see if I can run it out. I'll see if it's better with my fingers or the brush. Alright, there's a bit of paste got up there. Must have been off the back of my hand. There it is. Get rid of that. And it was holding the cloth out. Like that'll be a big voidy air bubble. Better. Just have to lift it gently, peel back the cloth again, scrape that off, and then stick it back down. Right, let's try that. Work it out with your fingers. Have a little look. See how we're doing. Looks pretty good. not bad. And at the other end, that went a lot better than I thought it would. Spoke too soon. Little crease there. Now getting it. Straggly bits. Oh, straggly bits. A little crease up there. A crease was it? Oh, see, so now we've got a little line in the resin on the top that hasn't sanded out, so that is what it is. Ain't doing nothing with that now. We can get round it properly. There we go. Not there, that's filler, that's good. So I thought I see a little air bubble there, but it's not, it's the filler underneath. So that's fine. The strands sticking out there. What I don't want is the strands to stick out and dry sticking out, and then gel coat over the top of it and have little strandy bits sticking out. That would be a horrible mess. Right, now I'm just going to brush the bottom at the front there, just to make sure I've got no drippy resin. You know, if I flatten the resin, it will tack off as is. Try very carefully not to knock what I've done and pull the cloth, because that will make a big air bubble at the back. Little strings hanging down. I tried to pull the strings out and you pull the glass off if you're not careful, so elbows. Bit of a shame about this bit up here, but never mind. Like I say, hey, nobody gonna see it other than everyone that knows it's there now. Quite happy with that. Gone quite well, so brush them streaks, because I mean that will be sanded again anyway. Right, I need a little bit of glass on there to build that up. I don't need any build underneath, I just want to curve it round so I don't get an edge that's sticking out. If that's rounded and I glass it like that, when I sand this side back, I'll get an edge there with a little void in it. So just to avoid that, I'm just going to tuck it round the corner slightly. I don't want to go underneath at all, because I can only get the electric sander in there so far. It makes for awkward work. So, right, that's all got to set up. Got to let that cure. Once that's cured, I can gel coat it. I'm hoping I can get in there without knocking that, and it'll cure enough that I won't disturb anything, you know, and I can get that gel coated. Hey, there we go, guys. One locker glassed in, other than underneath, but I can do that later. You know, that's an all-in-one job. If I can get that one done and this one done, that's 2 lockers glassed in place today, and I'll be well happy. If I can get them gel coated so I haven't got to sand it before I can gel coat it, I will be over the blooming moon. So that's my plan. I want that to go off now and I can get gel coating. So I'm going to do the next one pretty much exactly the same, get that stuck in, and hopefully them two will start going off and I can get them done today. Okay, so we're almost ready to go. That side's pretty much done. This side I'm just about to glass in. I've got all my cloth cut. I've just re-acetoned it. So there was a little bit of dirt in the bottom, so I'll just give it a quick hoover out and acetoned it. And somewhere I've lost me blooming lid. Oh, There it is. Ah dear. I'm sitting in a 4-foot square, you know what I mean? I sat here, I bought me a I wiped it all up. Where's the lid? It's going mad. Right, let's crack on into this, see what we can get done today. Pretty much ready to glass now. Just got to wipe a little smear of pudding in there. Same as I did on the other one. Just to fill any tiny little pinholes. Not to get any build up. Now I've already radiused this off, so I'm not looking to build up at all. All I'm looking to do is just make sure there's no pinholes. Get it into the edges quickly. When I run my brush along there to put the resin in, it usually helps it just smooth out. A bit awkward into the corners and the edges at the back, but yeah, we get there. It's doable. Want it there. Right, there we go. That's that gone. So that's into the edges, filled up any little tiny voids that we might have, just pinholes in the filler, you know. If I allow this lot to set up and sand it, there'll be more pinholes in the filler. So I don't want to set it, I just want it wet. It's a wet coat, wet on wet, that's the plan anyway. So let's get this on quick before this goes off. I've just finished the other locker. I'm still using the same resin, it's not gone off yet. Doesn't look like we're setting up. Luckily this ain't the middle of the summer, so we're able to extend the working time a wee bit. New tripod, this one fell apart, it's made of cheese, off of eBay. Seemed great for a tenner at the time. Didn't last very long though. So not so great. Thought when I bought it, you know, it would do the job, but to be honest, pretty tense. It holds the phone. So I can do some filming, but it's not the greatest. I'm predominantly plumping this onto the top section and letting it run down. I want quite a thick layer of resin, because what that will do is it will help the cloth stick to it, and it will mean I haven't got to apply loads of resin to the cloth. Once I touch it on there, it will soak through the cloth and start working its way in. Right, let's get that first bit stuck in there. Position that way, down. So yeah, so the resin that I've put on there is pretty much enough to stick this down with. Well, it is enough. It's soaking right through the glass. I say this glass is quite thin, it's not very heavy glass, but it is strong. So it doesn't drink a whole load of resin like some of the others. So that's it. Ooh, doesn't want to stay, does it? What's happening is the little wispy bits pulling it out again. Oh, it's so annoying. Let's just get the hand in there for a second. go, that's it. Right, that's the go. Work the resin through, work the air out, the job's a good one. That bit has gone beautifully. There we go, that straggly bit, because that will just stick to everything, called a macerator. There we go, right, a couple of bits in. The next one. So each layer that I put on is just overlapping the previous one. A little more resin there just to stop the brush sticking to it and help work it through. Stringy bits, go away. That's what you end up with, and it makes your glass work look messy. Like I say, I'm hoping to get this on and gel coat it. So I don't want all them stringy bits sticking up all over the place, because they'll be sticking from my gel coat. There we go. That looks pretty darn good. I can't show you everything because there's just no room. I can't get in there and show you what I'm doing. So I'm just going to have to do it this way and show you after. I'm afraid. Stick that in my hand. That's beautiful. That went well. Not going to commend myself too much just yet, because let's get the next bit in first. Yeah. It could all go wrong, and usually does. But that went beautifully. That little bit there, that went well. Right, let's see if this one will go in quite so successful. Pushing the resin through with my finger, I'm just working the air out. It's actually worked quite well. Oh, there we go. 2 bits in. Now, I'll try and get this bit into the corner. Without disturbing what I've just put on. I'm folding it into place nicely. That's gone good so far. Yeah, again, feed it in with my finger. That's working quite well into these edge bits. Bit awkward with a brush. What happens? The brush sort of puts it on one side and pulls it off the other side. There's plenty of resin on there. I'm not applying more resin. I'm just using the brush to move the resin round. Just stickle it out into place. I can't see when I've got my hand in there. Can't see what I'm doing fully. Gently, just going to drag the excess resin off. There we go. So this is, I'd say, quite resin heavy, you know, a bit resin rich. But I would rather that than it be dry. I don't want it dry, that's for sure. The dry layup's useless, you might as well just not bother. I might as well have just left it with the filler that's holding it in, the bonding paste, and called that a day. Because a dry layup will have no strength in it at all. Obviously you don't want too heavy, so it's brittle and cracking, but slightly heavy is better than dry, in my opinion. I'll get this on and I'm going to knock off for a minute. I'm going to go get me a coffee. I'm going to put the heater on, let it warm up in here. Right, got to try and get a bit of a closer shot on this one. This is the centrepiece going in, which is the only bit you can really watch me doing. So that first one's gone into there, that other one to there. This one's going to overlap by more than I need really. But that'll mean I know it's well tied in, so I'm just going to press her into the back edge there. So I'm keeping it under that line so that hopefully once it's all in, it's not going above that and it'll all sort of look like it belongs in one place, you know. I'm just going to try and work it out somewhere near straight. Probably would help if I cut the cloth straighter, but because this isn't CSM, it doesn't fall apart. So if I run the excess out with my finger, yeah, I can literally push the cloth back into place with my finger and it'll pull the resin through at the same time. Obviously you need enough resin in there to do that, but that's pretty much gone on quite well like that. That needs a little bit more resin to come through. If it was flat I could get my hand in there and rub it nicely, but because it's a bit tight for my hand to get in there, it's easier with the brush. So first off I'm going to just make sure all the glass is wetted, so you can see that shiny silver sheen to the glass there. You shouldn't see that once you've got enough resin on it. So you can see that's disappeared. Obviously you get a sheen, you know, it's wet resin, it is a wet coat. But you shouldn't see that silverness of the glass like we got down there, look. That's dry glass. That is not welcome anywhere. So you've got to push that down into the resin underneath. Now, or you've got to introduce a bit more resin on the brush, you know, and tap that right through. But ideally, before you put that resin on, this surface needs to be wet. So you brush this out and make it wet. So that all the surfaces are coated in resin before you put any glass on. You don't want to be laying the glass onto dry backing, you know, if the boat's dry. You don't put glass on and then add resin and work it right through. You put the resin on first, then add the glass, and the resin should come through from behind and soak through the glass, and then you add a bit more if need be. Excuse me, Darth Vader breathing. It gets stuffy in the old mask. So it's not very good lighting in here, so you can't see awfully well. I have got my little head torch on just to light it a bit. I've dimmed it a bit because it's a bit too much glare. Right, there's one last bit to do, and that's the fiddly top section. And I've got just a drib of resin left to use up before it goes off. It's done me quite well actually, so so then I've got to get the heater back on and get it nice and warm in here. Hopefully this will go off enough that I'll come back over and slap some gel coat on. I ain't got long left with this at all. This is starting to tack. It's not gelling yet, but it is getting tacky. You can feel it. Feel it starting to get firmer and tack up. I've got to make sure this is all wet up here, and I can't see it. I can barely see what I'm doing. So I've just got to do the best I can to get that right up in there. I can see up there if I put my head down to get the main top section. Just to soak that in. Make sure where that cloth's going to touch that we've got connection between resin and the cloth. between the boat and not just onto dry glass up the top there. I'll also be careful I don't leave runs all over the place. I'll have to sand all that again, you know, on the outside. It's all tough. I'll have to sand off the mess, but it is what it is. And that is, it's hard work, you know. It's awkward, it's messy, it's fiddly. You just got to get on with it. Here we go, sticking to everything now. I love this stuff, and this in place. Find my centre. Yeah. Get that in there. So that's my little boy's birthday today. Not so little anymore. 8 already, bless him. He's gone to school today. All happy and excited after opening some of his presents this morning. Let him have a few before school, we'll do the rest later. I'll push that up a wee bit. Right out to the end. Along. There it goes, pulling that crap off again. I hate that. Got to be careful not to touch the bits I've already done with the back of my hand, you know, because that will ruin it, absolutely ruin it. That's gone quite well up to there. Don't look bad. Right. Give that a little tap out. I've got the kettle on. I can't lean on the window and I don't want to wipe resin up everything. Oh, stop it! Grabbing hold of them little stringy bits. I think that's pretty much back really. I'll pull that in, run that through on my finger. I'll leave that alone. I was hoping to do underneath the lockers as well, but that ain't happening today. It's taking far too long. If I glass it, it ain't going to be dry enough for me to gel coat, so I'd rather not start it. I've got quite a bit in here to let go off and sort out. So no, I don't want to start that under there. You know, stop messing about under that. Alright, that's me done. I'm going to leave that alone now. Oh, I'm quite pleased so far. I've got both lockers glassed in. Now all I need is for it to go off so I can gel coat it before I leave here today. There we go. Right. We have glassed in the left locker, number 1. We have glassed in the middle locker, number 2. So they're all in. We've got the front edge glassed so that hopefully the backing plate for the door don't get cleaned off in both of them. We've glassed along the back, up the side and into the corners on both of the lockers. So the depth of it and up the side of the divider in the middle is all glassed in as well. So I'm quite pleased so far. All I need now is this to go off enough that I can gel coat inside these lockers before I leave. Because if I can't, well, God forbid, that means next time I come down, I've got to sand all of that before I can gel coat it. That means sanding, hoovering, wiping it all out, acetoning it all up, and then gel coating it. And I really want to do that in one go while it's wet. So I'll, you know, pray God that that dries up enough for me to do that soon. Right, I'm off for now. I'll catch you all soon.